Thanks, everybody. We are the Westerlies. My name is Riley.
Hey everyone, my name is Chloe.
I'm Willem.
And I'm Andy.
And as was mentioned, we just came from New York. We're based in Brooklyn. As you can see, we're a brass quartet. We're really excited to be here today. We have never played in Montana before. So these next few notes are going to be our Montana debut. Pretty psyched. So we're going to kick things off with a song that Andy wrote. When we first came together as an ensemble, we didn't have any music to play. Our instrumentation was a little different than like a standard brass quintet. And so one of the things we did pretty early on in the history of the group was write original music. So Andy wrote this next one. It was written in honor of his nephew, who was 2 years old at the time, and tries to encapsulate all the madness and craziness of a 2-year-old. And it's named after his nephew. This is called Robert Henry.
That piece was called Robert Henry, and in the middle of the piece, for the improv section, the only direction I gave to Riley and Willem was to embody what might be going on in the mind of a 2-year-old. And much like a child, it's different every day. So that was a particularly wailing rendition of that section.
Andy, you want to talk a little bit, since we played 2 of your compositions now, you want to talk a little bit about your process as a composer? Because I know both of the pieces we played by you had very different compositional processes.
Thanks. I'm curious how many composers we have in the house. Cool. How many folks out there are terrified of composing? I still am, and I've been writing and making music for 20 years. And it is a very mysterious process, and I think there's sort of been this myth perpetuated in the world of like the composer who sits in their high castle with a pen and writes a symphony straight to paper. And that's one way of working, and that's great, but there are many, many ways of making music that I think are a lot more approachable than a lot of folks realize. So something I would stress and encourage everyone is everyone in this room already has everything they need to be a composer.
is through a little exercise that we got from a mentor of ours in Seattle. His name was Wayne Horvitz. He got it from a mentor of his in New York, whose name was Butch Morris, this legendary guy who created this system that he called conduction. And so we're going to do a little bit of conduction today. And what conduction is a way to come up with original compositions, to come up with improvisations, to come up with material on the spot, in the moment, but in a little bit of an organized, intentional way. And so this is going to be fun. I'm going to start by just teaching everyone a few hand signals. And these hand signals are going to be sort of the rules of the game. And then we're going to take a volunteer or two to come up here and create some new pieces of music with us on the spot. Does that sound okay? Cool. Okay. Everyone's a little scared. A little scared, which is a good thing. I love it. So here's what we do. First, the rules of the game. This is a 3-part system. Okay? 3 steps. The first step is, as a conductor, I point to whomever I want, to cue whoever I want to play, to improvise, to do anything. So, for example, if I'm up here as conductor, I would point, I could choose any one of these two. So I could point at Andy. That's step 1. So Andy is ready. He's got his eyes on me. He knows that I'm going to give him a signal. That's step 1. Now, step 2 is I give him a signal of something to play. Now, we're going to start very simple. Our first signal today is going to be to cue a long tone. We all familiar with long tones? We all do our long tones every day, I'm sure. I can just feel it in this room. This is a room full of lovers of long tones, just like us. So a long tone, the signal for a long tone is going to be like this. Can everyone do this? Great. So we're practicing our first signal for long tone. So step 1 was I pointed at Andy. Step 2 is I give him the signal, long tone. Now step 3 is I cue him in. Everyone give it up for that long tone. Oh yeah! Andy, how did you know which note to play?
I had no idea.
So Andy had no idea which note. He got to choose the note. That was his sort of freedom in that improvisation. But his parameter. I was going to say perimeter. His parameter was that it has to be a long tone. So once again, 3 steps: point, signal, cue. I could cue him again, and he can change notes, but it still has to be a long tone. Great, so all of a sudden we're starting to make some music with just long tones, right? Okay.
I've been having the most amazing couple of days here. We came in from New York late Wednesday, and in the 48 hours since, I have been to Wild Crumb Bakery 4 times.
So thank you so much for being here tonight. We're going to say goodnight with a song that we've been playing ever since we were doing house concerts in our living room in New York when we were in college. This is an old English folk song entitled Sarrow. Thank you.
Thank you.